What's up, what's up? It's time for Done Way Past Funny with your host, G.D. Fenderson. Join us as we discuss the arts, science, and business of comedy with comedians and comedian adjacent. With this episode's guest, James Piscitelli. It's time to get down and get dope with Done Way Past Funny. Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist and host of Done Way Past Funny. This is the conclusion of our interview with mockumentary short filmmaker James Piscitelli. Enjoy. Yeah. Now, let me see. Like I said, we went through three of the clips. I did not do the astronaut one. And to be honest, the only reason why I didn't do the astronaut one was I mislabeled it when I saved it.
Okay.
And I couldn't find I couldn't find what it was.
Well, you can always cut it in, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut them in. I'm going to cut it in. But let's see. I'm just checking my questions here. Now, as far as the actors go, I think most of and we talked about it earlier how the heavy lifting needs to be done by more experienced actors.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so do you have friends that just are begging for you to get into a thing, and you're like, all right,
yeah, okay, friends that want to be in the
they want to be in, but you're like, okay, but your face is gonna break my camera. No, no.
You know, luckily, most of the people, other than myself, I'm a big ham, and a few other my co-writer, co-director Ed Campodonico, big ham. We don't mind getting in front of the camera and making fun of ourselves. But most people don't want to do. They know we're making silly movies, and maybe they're a little afraid of that. But I do have some folks, like the actor who played Thornton, the documentarian, and he was also in Charles Rose. He was in the Fitness Expert, right? And he was also in Larry Armstrong as as Jim Krantz, the NASA expert.
Right.
Now he's not an actor, but he's really good. He knows his lines, and he's so reliable. And when we did you can show the clip if you like for Larry Armstrong. I wrote his script, and he's so good. He took it, and he's talking about what it would be like to go to Mars.
Right.
And he got all the actual facts of Mars and put them in. So that was his contribution. So that's priceless, So when you have somebody who's committed to the project in a way that you never expected, they get the script, they improve it, they actually make it better, and then they deliver it. That's just a dream.
Now, at the risk of being an idiot, I think his thing was he wanted to go to Venus because everybody wants to go to Mars.
Yes, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I don't even know where I'm going. Venus,
okay.
Yes, Venus. Oh, by the way, I should have gotten that right, because the Venus, that's the inside joke of Abbott and Costello. Abbott and Costello had the movie where they go to Venus.
Right.
They were trying to go to Mars, but they ended up going to Venus
with the women.
Yes, of course. Yes. So.
We're going to Venus.
The surface temperature on the planet Venus is over 750 degrees Fahrenheit. The atmosphere is toxic, and it rains sulfuric acid on a regular basis.
Anyway, that was, thanks for correcting me. I forgot it was, it was one of those planets,
It's funny, and here's the reason why I remembered it was Venus, because of the pressure, the pressure, and the raining sulfuric acid.
Sulfuric acid. He's likely to hurt himself and others. That was
that's how I remembered, and that's how I remembered it was Venus, because the first planet he told you, well, anybody can go to Mars, but when you said the facts, I remembered the facts. I'm like, that's not Mars, that's Venus.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're right. Thanks for correcting it, because I just, I get so deep into these movies, I forget where the hell things are. My brain is not working the same way as it used to. But yeah, it's definitely his contribution, and he's just kind of like that. When it came to the narration for the Jerry Tarpini film. He took it and we wrote it, and then he just made it better. He just kind of ad-libbed a few things and threw, and that's what you really want. And not everybody can do that. Not everybody can
Right.
do that. When you find somebody who can, it's great.
Now, I'm going to ask you a technical question, and it's more of your opinion or
Mhm.
or fact. Even though these are short films, anywhere from 2 to 3 to 6 minutes, as far as the mockumentaries go, not the feature
Yeah.
film. The
Yeah.
feature film, I know the answer is yes. And the question is about storyboarding. Do you storyboard the short films?
Yes. I mean, basically write the script and sketch out what we want it to look like,
Right,
just in the margins, because it's a mockumentary.
right,
We don't want it too overly planned.
right.
So this way we can get the mistakes, like even the framing. If you notice, like Mickey Owen, he's off to the left. I think we didn't have him fully
Yes,
centered.
yes,
So one of the little things like that, and then we would mirror that with the other interview where he would be on the right. So that was a plan, like having that visual back and forth to make it a little bit more visually interesting than just a talking head.
right.
So yeah, there's definitely some planning that goes into that. Some of it is experiments. We like with Mickey Owen with the tennis balls hitting him. We just had to figure out how to best get that to look like he was
Yeah,
getting hit by a machine.
yes, because this is a mistake that some people make. They want a projectile there, but it has an arc as opposed
Yeah.
to a straight line. And
Yep.
it needs to, like a tennis ball, if he's being hit like that and it's coming from a machine, it's got to be a straight line. It can't be an arc. But some people just like throw it in, and as long
Yep.
as it hits them, they're fine. It's like, no, because that's not what the thing would do.
Yeah, so we had one of the other my friend Chuck, who's one of the actors. He was off screen, and he's a really good athlete, and he just nailed them.
Now, did he make those sounds with his mouth also, or
He probably did. I added a lot of sound effects later, but I'm
Yeah.
sure he did.
Yeah, now, so when you storyboard, do you storyboard with pen and paper, the old-fashioned way, or do you have like a program that you use?
I really just use pen and paper.
Okay.
I would love. I've looked at a lot of the online stuff that's
Yeah,
available,
yeah.
which is I think it's amazing. I almost feel like I would get lost in that process.
Yes, yeah,
So instead of that, I'm trying to back away from that. Maybe just use that. Like I'll, ask the computer to come up with some big wide image so I can like have an idea.
right,
Like, let me find something that has that image. But in terms of the individual shot, the way I usually do it is in my script, my shooting script, on the opposite page, I draw out the shots. Some of them are detailed. I can be, when I have time, I can be pretty good. Or sometimes it's just a stick figure. Here's where
Right.
where he's going to be in the frame, because that's all I need to express to the photographer if it's not me.
right.
A lot of times I'm behind camera, so
Yes.
I know what I want to do and how I want to frame it. So again, that's another blessing of having no budget. That if you have 100, and it would be wonderful to have this problem. If you had 100 people working towards your scene, you have to communicate with each and every one of them what you want them to do.
Right.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you better be good at that. Whereas if it's just you, it's like, oh, here's the camera, lights coming from this direction, you're going this way, done.
Yeah.
It's fast. I almost feel sorry. You look at some of these productions in Hollywood, and all these people, and they're all standing around, and it's just amazing.
Yes.
But if you think about it, you ever watch any of the behind the scenes of Stanley Kubrick in his films? he has a very small crew, very small. I'm talking like, 6 people, and he's making these amazing films, right?
Yeah.
And he's that was his secret. He's like, he could shoot for a year because he only had to pay for, he owned all his equipment,
Right.
and they built the sets, and then he had 6 people, 7 people doing everything, and they would shoot for 18 months.
And yeah, as long as they're getting paid, you did. Now it's kind of hard to do that when everybody's a volunteer.
No, true. No, I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
like,
but-
I think there's just benefits to being small.
Oh
that
yeah.
you're nimble. You can change things on a fly too. It's like,
Yes.
hey, wait a second, this room looks better than this room.
Yeah.
let's just go over here. Something as simple as that. That might take a committee on a big film where there's lots of money, and there's deadlines, and you spent $100,000 to rent a house.
Oh,
And,
well, it's
whereas,
like with the Marvel movies, with some of the Marvel movies, and also with the Lord of the Ring movies, it was with the Hobbit movies. They were shooting 2 films at the same time.
yeah.
Yeah, that one and the sequel at the.
Yeah, well, that was always a very smart Hollywood thing. That started pretty much, the movie that started that was The Three Musketeers from the 1970s.
The one
Was
with
Michael York
yes,
and
York.
Oliver Reed.
Was Richard Benjamin in that as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Not Richard Chamberlain.
Richard Chamberlain, yes. Richard Benjamin is a comedic actor.
So they shot both films, Three Musketeers and Four Musketeers, at the same time.
Okay, I did not realize that.
They didn't tell the actors that, though, and they all they shot a lot, and they're like, wow, we're shooting a lot for a movie, but okay, getting paid. Cut it into 2 movies, and the actors were like, wait a second, you owe me for that second movie now. They all got, I know the Screen Actors Guild got involved with that one, but then they did that. The same producers came along, and they did that for Superman, the movie,
the one
with Christopher
Reeve.
They shot 1 and 2 at the same time.
Okay.
But the second one, kind of like, they had to stop at some point because it was taking so long. And Richard Donner was the original director, and he directed a lot of part 2, but they fired him before he could finish it. Part 2.
Okay.
And they brought in Richard Lester, who did the Three and the Four Musketeers. He knew how to get it done. He knew how to get it done quickly and funny. And he did Hard Day's Night. He's a really, really good director. But anyway, that's there's a great way, economical way to make a movie. Just shoot and cut 2 movies out of it.
Now, when you went to film school, how should I put this? You went to film school, but you also went to law school?
So I went to film school. That's my undergraduate.
Right.
And once I got out of film school, to go into Hollywood was, from where I was at that time, there wasn't this access to the kind of equipment that you have now, that you could just kind of make your own films. So you had to make a hard choice. Do you want to go, be a production assistant in New York City, maybe work your way up, all kinds of crazy hours, don't get paid much, go to California, do the same thing. I knew some people who did that. Didn't seem like a lot of fun, and you weren't really creating anything. You were just
you're basically
working for someone.
You're an intern, basically.
Which is fine, nothing wrong with it. It's just I was like, I'd rather try to make my own movies my own way. So let me just get a career that I can earn a living with. So I went to law school in San Diego with the California Western in San Diego, graduated, and passed the bar in California, passed the bar in New York, practiced for a little while, and then went into the insurance world, and then into my own business.
So
through that,
your intention from the very beginning was to make films? I mean,
I always
my
wanted to.
thing is when did you decide to be a filmmaker? I guess is what that was my
Oh,
long way around is when you decided to be a
sure.
filmmaker.
You know, like many people in my generation, I saw in the theater Star Wars, Raiders of the
Okay.
Lost Ark. You know, these just incredible films. But I think the thing that really made me think about it as a potential art form or like putting it all together was I saw uh, the Dick Cavett show around 1980, 81, and I was a
Yes.
teenager at the time. And his guest was Steven Spielberg, and I didn't know who Steven Spielberg was. I
Okay.
didn't, and he's talking about movies, and I'm listening. I'm like, oh, I like movies. What movies? And he's well, he starts talking about Jaws. I'm like, I saw Jaws, and then he's like, and I did Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I saw Close Encounters of the Third. I didn't know who like the same made
Yeah.
all these movies.
Yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. He made that movie, and then I started putting together like, oh, that reminds me of this, and that shot was in this movie, and then it all started to become like this is more than just by accident. There's
Right.
a plan. There's a structure, and that's what opened the door for me. And I was like, I'd really like to learn how to do this. So I got a Super 8 camera, started playing around with that, and then met some friends who had similar interests, and we made little short films in the garage when we were
So
teenagers.
what was the first short film you made? Do you remember it?
So the first short film I made was with like a cousin of mine, where he helped. We animated laundry going into a into a machine, like
Pixelation?
socks. Yeah, we animated it one frame at a time.
Yeah,
All the clothes.
pixelation.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
stop motion
Stop
animation.
motion, yeah.
And we did that, and I'll never forget. Like we got the film developed, brought it home, put it on the projector. The whole family's gathering around, and everyone went, "Ooh, ah!" Then you're hooked at that point, right? You know that you talk about that. You're waiting for that reaction. That took like weeks to get to that reaction. So that was the first film, and then we made. Then as I got a little bit older, we made some. The second big film we made was a film called Blood on Canvas. Blood on
Okay.
Canvas, and that was a movie about a artist who kills a rival artist, and
Okay.
when he does that, his whole world goes black and white. He can't see color anymore.
Okay.
So we shot it in color and black and white to do that. That was like our gimmick. So that was a film we made, and then I went to film school and I made several shorts on film, and then eventually the Ninth Circle. And after that, made film. I actually made a mockumentary for my law school while I was there.
Yeah.
So I kept doing shit even even when I was studying. They had this thing at my law school called Law Review, which was like a
Right.
show. It was like a show, and I said, "Can I do a movie for you guys? I'll do a sketch if you want, but I think I could do a movie pretty quickly." And they said, "Okay, yeah. How much money you need?" I said, "I don't know, like $100. I could probably do it." And I did it. I did a mockumentary, and they showed it, and it was great. So did that, and then after law school, myself and my friend Ed continued to make these films occasionally to try to get into festivals, like I said, Project Greenlight or Sci-Fi Channel or whatever we could get into, just to keep, honestly, just for us. It's just so we just love it. It's just fun. I never thought about making money off of it. As crazy as that sounds, but we make money other ways.
Now, was your first movie was that with or without sound?
So the first movie was
The one
without.
with the laundry basket.
Oh, no sound, no sound. It was just a silent movie, Super 8, color Super 8. And even the second movie with Blood on Canvas, that was a silent movie. We did everything through just visuals. There was no dialogue.
And no subtext either then. Subtitles.
No. Just the only thing we had was like there was some newspapers we had dummied up, like with headlines on it that
Right.
gave some plot information.
Got it.
Everything else, we made our own. Like, we're supposed to be an artist. We made our own paintings, like that looked like.
Okay.
We tried to make them look like a Picasso. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, but let's try. Let's just do this. Put the nose here. Came out fine.
It's fine. I was thinking because when you said your first one was with the stop motion, my first film that I made was stop motion. Now mine was a Monopoly game. I had to please the pieces playing and racing themselves, and then
that's cool.
And the money would crawl across the board to get into place, and then there was like a collision and an explosion, which worked out real well, except for the fact that it damaged my board. I didn't realize it was going. Some things came out by accident. The way I did the explosion was the car hit the ship, and it was this was just a regular Super 8 camera, but it wasn't with a reel. It was like you pushed the button, and every time you pushed the button, even if you just like clicked it like that, it was like 3 frames.
Yeah,
you couldn't do 1 frame at a time.
Yeah, I eventually, I know exactly what you mean, because we had the same problem when I made the first film. But eventually, I found a tool that's like a little plunger that you hook into the frame, and it does it 1 frame at a time.
I didn't have that.
Yeah,
well,
it took a while.
In the 80s, I was in the 70s.
Well,
oh yeah, mine was
a little bit before me. Yeah,
mine was in 76. Now I think the device was available because when I think about it, there was like a little hole in there that you could have, I guess.
Yes, it's a 1 frame. It's like a plunger, and it moves the frame down one slot. And if you remember on Super 8, it's 18 frames per second.
Right.
So you had to for each second, it's 18 moves.
Right.
So yeah, it was definitely a challenge, but that's great. That's exactly that's the way most people get into. Unfortunately, you don't have that today, but I know there's a lot of apps that create that same look, that stop motion look. If you're patient, you can lock down your camera like your iPhone. There was a Lego app. I'm pretty sure
I just saw somebody did something and it came out Lego.
It's great. It's great. It actually has a shadow on it, so you can see where you're moving it, where it came from, so you can line it up.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's so good. So, I mean, the technology is amazing.
Now, what I did was, because I didn't even have a tripod.
Oh my goodness, that's
hard.
What
I did was I cheated where since I had a Monopoly board, the corners of the board were the corners of the frame.
Yeah.
So as long as I had that, it was close enough. It was close enough. And it was only the film, I think, was only like 5 minutes. You can only have the canister of film was like maybe 5 minutes, I think, if that. It wasn't very much. And I think we should, and the board, and I didn't have an ending. So I had the when I did the explosion again, and it was an accident that it came out as well as it did. I had the car and the ship collide, and then I had a soda cap. This is when the soda tops were metal. I had a metal soda top, and I put like alcohol and some paper in it, and I lit it. And of course, by the time I got back to the camera, it was a huge ball of fire.
Yeah, of course.
And so with the camera, what the audience sees is the collision and a huge ball of fire. And they thought, wow, what a great effect. It was like, I didn't have a choice. I was but when
look, you didn't set the house on fire.
And then when I was done and I took the thing away, the cap got so hot that it melted the board. And so there's like a burn spot on the game board, which was an accident. It wasn't like I thought that there was going to be like ash and stuff. I was like, nope, I burnt the board.
Oh my goodness.
And I didn't have an ending. So I decided that for an ending, I was going to have bigger pieces come in and eat all the smaller pieces.
Okay.
And eventually I needed something and I kept getting bigger and bigger stuffed animals to come in to eat things. And I needed something to eat the dolphin. And I said, it's going to be a dragon. And so I made a dragon out of paper. I just cut it out because I said, no one's going to see the whole thing because it's going to be so close. And so what people saw was an iris out.
Okay.
When the jaws closed, it just became
closed. They thought, just closed down.
Yeah, they said, "Man, how'd you do that iris out?" And I'm like, Oh, you don't want to know.
Yeah.
It was an accident.
Well, it's great. I mean, you used all the tools. You use them and you use them effectively. That and your audience loved it. So
Yeah,
that's great.
yeah,
That's great. Well, I think you know that's the joy of filmmaking. You know, you find solutions when you don't have any money, and
right.
and you just you want to use the tools to the best of your ability, whatever you have. And the really great thing about right now is there are so many tools available that your film, even with, you know, like as we said, the phone, you can create a very good looking finished product. And it'll look, I mean, it may not look like a Hollywood movie, but it can look pretty close. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I have some you know, some lenses that I've used on my iPhone, anamorphic lenses that you can buy, which squeeze the image in like old Hollywood movies, and then
Okay.
you unsqueeze them in the editing software, so you get that wide screen look like you would have seen in, you know, um, Ben Hur,
Right.
you know, and it's kind of cool. You know, you can do all these things at home. So there's like I always anybody who wants to get into filmmaking or wants it, just I just say do it. Don't wait. You know, don't wait for permission. Don't wait for a budget. You know, just shoot with what you have access to. Talk to your friends. Um, you know, if you have access to a great location, use it. Build a story around it. You know, and in terms of comedy, yeah, again, what you approach it the same way. Well, what can I do that's, you know, people to laugh? What's going to tickle the funny bone? We found in our niche is the mockumentary. It seems to work with all these limitations.
Yeah.
But even in the feature film, you know, there are some comedic scenes in it. So, you know, that I love, you know, comedy films that, you know, with a traditional narrative, of course. They don't all have to be mockumentaries. I
Right.
love, you know,
Right.
like Woody Allen stuff. I love, you know, Caddyshack and, you know, all these, you know, great movies.
Now
Um,
I have a I have a problem with AI,
mhm.
and that is that I think the biggest problem. Well, I'm not talking about the other issue with AI, like how much energy it's taking and it's how much it's costing us because we're paying for the energy. Now I'm just
Right.
talking about the practical aspect of AI, not the
Yeah.
economic aspect. When you're doing small budget stuff, I think one of the beautiful things, at least for me, and the same with my comedy, sometimes I when I do my comedy, I may have a concept of what I think should be funny. And then I decide how should I make that funny? Should I do it with a joke? Should I do it with a short story? Should I do it with a song parody? Should I do it with an act out? What's going to be the best way to convey that particular piece of material? And with small budget films or small budget projects, sometimes I think the beautiful thing is to come up with the solution within your budget. And with AI, sometimes AI comes up with the solution and you're not thinking, you never learn to resolve anything, is what I'm saying. And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
part of the, and I can't, I'm not going to speak for you, but I would
Yeah.
like to, I think that most of your growth came from having to solve little issues as opposed to AI doing it for you. But also AI wasn't available in the 80s when you started. So
Yeah. I think AI is a tool for the heavy lifting in filmmaking, like scheduling and putting things in order, and you know, some of the grunt work that it can do is
yeah,
great. No issue with that. But using it as a replacement for, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's really that's. I've seen some of what AI comes up with,
right.
and I don't think it's very good in
Oh, it
terms of like
sucks.
story or anything. Now, imagery, the imagery it comes up with is impressive.
Right.
You know, but to me, it looks like AI. It
Yes.
doesn't look like reality. Now, if that's what you're going for, if that's the joke, okay. But if it's, you know, you're trying to, maybe you could use it if you can't afford to come up with a giant, if you're like making a sign, you need a unique background that you just can't afford to build.
Right.
Maybe that's a way to use it. But I still want the actors in front of it to be real.
Yes.
I don't know. There's something to me when I look at AI, and maybe it'll get better. It just doesn't look convincing to me.
Right.
I just see the AI.
Yes. Yeah.
So that takes me out of the movie right away, you know. So again, a great tool. I think it has a purpose and it can be helpful, but creatively, no, I don't think it doesn't write very well as far as I'm concerned. I don't think I'm a great writer, but I think I write better than what I've seen come out of it.
Right.
And I don't think it knows what's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, humans seem to know what's fun, like, and that changes, right, over time.
Right.
Like what may be funny 10 years ago may not be as the same today, and that's where the human. I don't know if AI can do that. Maybe it will someday. I don't know. Quite honestly, I don't want AI being funny.
Now, I don't think AI will ever be funny. I think AI will steal jokes in time, in the sense that
Yeah.
so like they're like, okay, we know that what's funny right now, baby ducks. So we're gonna put baby ducks in here, and then 10 years
Yeah.
from now, when it's no longer baby ducks but baby kittens, it'll go, we'll do baby kittens because that's what it learned.
Yeah. Well, right, and
And
that's the problem.
the fact that it learned it means it's always behind the curve. And
Right. It's
moving ahead.
exactly. It's very derivative of whatever is available and whatever it can pull in. And it is, it's amazing what it can pull in, so much data, but it doesn't mean it when it puts it like I think about it like the best example. Do you want AI to write the movie or do you want Quentin Tarantino to write the movie? Quentin he's seen every movie and he pulls them in and makes his own thing. And you
Yeah.
love it. It's so original in the way he puts it together. It's like a mixtape.
He says he hears the music first.
Right. But what I mean is he is pulling together a mixtape of all the things he loves, but it's not just thrown together. There's a story there. He's using it for a purpose. Now AI does that, but nowhere near as good as he does, and nowhere near as cool. That's for sure, right? So anyway, that's my point. I mean, I don't. If a computer can end up doing that, we're all in trouble.
Well, I saw an interview where he was talking about Pulp Fiction, and he was talking about the dance scene, and he was saying that he had mentioned how he wanted John Travolta to dance, and then he says, and I wanted Uma Thurman's dance to be like the dance from the Aristocats.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Aristocats. And so that's what he wanted her to do. And you're right. I don't think AI was going to go like, I saw the Aristocats. I think Uma Thurman should dance like that.
Yeah. and adding to that, him casting John Travolta, and John Travolta said he's the one who came up with he did the bat dance.
Right.
Which was from Batman.
Right.
Yes. And he said that. He said, I did the novelty bat dance. Now, that wouldn't have happened by AI. That happened because he hired the right guy who got of the scene and put it in. And as a director, he was smart enough to say, that's in.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say no to that.
Right.
Right. So that's the beauty. And I think that's that's the magic of movies. Sometimes, like, if any filmmaker came in, if a different director comes in, it's a different movie. It's just not better or worse, just different. Right.
Right.
Now there's, I'm very curious to see what Cliff Booth is going to be like. That's the sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
And Tarantino wrote the script.
Right.
Brad Pitt is playing the same part.
Okay.
Cliff Booth, but it's directed by David Fincher.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's going to be it's very interesting. So it's not Tarantino directing it. So it's going to be a different movie. It's not going to be his, it'll be his dialogue, I'm sure, but not his movie.
Right.
So it'll be an interesting new combination. That's my point. Like that's the infinite things that AI can do.
Right.
So that's just my opinion, and I'm always wrong. So.
Oh, I think this time the opinion's right because we agree. No.
Okay. Oh, right. What am I saying?
Well, look, I don't know if there's anything else you want to cover.
I think we've covered a lot of grounds. We talked way too much about me, which is going to just have
you. I want people to know you. I want people to know James and his process, and I want to drive people toward your your YouTube channel so they can check out your shorts. I think everybody should see your shorts, and your feature length. I think they should see your shorts and your feature length.
Well, I appreciate that, and I would love, I love people to see them, comment on them. I'm good with positive or negative. My favorite review of my film is the guy said, "First there's snow, then there's no snow, then there's snow again. Weird flick." And I was like, I loved it because he watched the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was an honest critique of the continuity.
Yeah, I said to someone who bashed one of my comedy things, and I said, well, first of all, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. I said,
absolutely.
And as far as your opinion goes, it's your opinion. That's great, but thank you for watching, and maybe other people will watch it and get a different opinion.
Well, GD, I appreciate you having me on, and I hope your listeners or watchers will venture over to the channel and take a look at it. And always happy to answer any questions from them, and they can get to me through Instagram. I gave you this beautiful handmade drawing here. I'll just have that up again.
And what you don't realize is that it's backwards on the screen, so I am going to crop that and flip it around for the audience.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw this. It's mirrored. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's mirrored. Yeah. So I don't know what you're seeing.
Perfect.
Yes.
Well, I'm seeing it. No, I saw it mirrored, but I didn't know if the camera was capturing it.
Oh, yeah, it's mirrored over here too. It's backwards. And the thing is, I can read it because I used to do print. I'm a bit older than you. I used to set type with the actual printers things where you had the M quad, the N quad, and you set type upside downwards and reverse. So I know how to read like that.
Well, cool. Thank goodness, because no one else is going to be able to read that. It's like, we can't reach him because he's backwards.
That's right. They're going to get you. So, but again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Now, of course, once this is all done, I'll let you know. But I should have said that after I stopped recording. I should have. It should end with us saying,
Well, don't stop recording because in terms of another reason to come by is we are working on another feature, on another mockumentary. There's a little teaser of it on my YouTube channel called. Its title is Open Concept.
Yes, I saw that.
For over 30 years, my films have documented the most hostile environments on Earth, seeking to understand man's relationship to nature. From the summit of an active volcano to a voyage across the most treacherous seas, into the deepest jungles of the Amazon. These are the places that define man's struggle. Now I turn my lens onto perhaps the most devastating setting for human survival and dominance. A place where we explore man's desire to conquer the land, to tame nature, and to delve into the darkest heart of the human condition, the North American suburbs.
and that's going to be our next venture. We hope to start shooting in June, May into June. That's the plan. And same process. We're going to be doing a fake documentary about a young couple who's trying to renovate their house, and they have a mouse problem. And that's going to be a full length. We're gonna really dive back
one
in.
Of these, right? This is
like a live mouse.
Okay, I gotta ask, who are you getting to play the mouse? I have to ask.
Well, this is, it's such a weird thing going on in my house right now. I have dozens of little puppet mouses, mice, mice that we're looking to figure out how to manipulate properly. And also, you talk about AI, seeing if there's any kind of manipulation that could work with, like, making the eyes move a little bit. We want it to be like a puppet. We still want to have that kind of puppet look, but to give it a little bit of life. Think about the gopher in Caddyshack. Remember the gopher?
Yeah.
That's kind of the character we're trying to build with the mouse. So who's playing the mouse? Probably these two fingers, I guess.
Oh, okay. It's funny.
It's gonna be a puppet. It's gonna be a puppet.
Well, once this is over, I'm gonna share the screen with you. I don't want to make this about me, but I had to find it also. I don't even know. I've never tried this with. Oh, first of all, I guess I have to have something to share. I've never tried it with this, but I will share something with you after the show is over, so that people don't have to be subjected to me and my stupidity.
No problem.
But I really, really, really appreciate you doing this with me, and it's been a pleasure doing this. I thank you.
The pleasure's mine, and be happy to come back again if you want to talk about other film topics or comedy, whatever. We could talk about a comedy movie you like. My favorite is from my childhood. It's a mad, 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 mad world. That was
yes, that's that's excellent. Now you're talking about the original with Spencer Tracy and Ethel Merman and
everybody who's in Hollywood is in that movie.
Yes,
at that time.
Yeah, Rochester.
Yes.
That was. They did a remake with Whoopi Goldberg and a bunch of other people, but it's not the same.
No. You got it's this. There's so many great actors in there. What's his? Oh my God, Jonathan Winters, and Jerry Lewis has a bit part. The Three Stooges are in there. Of course, Spencer Tracy, Ethel Merman, Milton Berle.
Yeah.
Sid Caesar.
Yes.
It's just
Sean. He always played like a big dumb guy. Sean. Oh
my goodness, the guy from the guy who's Sylvester. He plays Sylvester, right? I can't think.
I'm coming, Mama.
I'm coming, Mama. Yeah. Well, we can save that for another day. That's a 3-hour movie we could talk about for 3 hours.
Now I think my favorite, one of my favorite comedies right now, as far as movies go, is The Other Guys.
The Other Guy. Oh, with Will Ferrell and Mark
Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg, yeah.
I think he is so over the top in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's. I think the writing in that, I think, is very, very, very funny. Yeah,
that is a funny movie. I think my favorite Will Ferrell is probably Anchorman, though. Just kind of love that one.
I did enjoy that one. I don't think I enjoyed Anchorman 2 so much.
No, that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
The first one was good.
Yeah. So thank you so much for doing this, and again, thank you.
Anytime. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. Thanks for getting my movies out there. That's all I can ever ask. Thank you.
All right. Also, I didn't mean to. Oh, damn it! I will edit that out. I didn't know it was going to share it right then and there.
Okay.